Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fundamental, emotional intelligence, and specifically how to regulate our emotions. Skills most of us, frankly, never learned properly.
That's right. And our research points to this really quite startling gap.
Startling is the word. What did you find?
Well, the data shows only about 1 in 5 adults can actually name more than 3 emotions they feel on a regular basis.
Wow, only 3.
Just 3. So think about that. If you don't have the words, if you can't describe your own internal world, how can you possibly navigate it? It's a huge blind spot, a real failure in what we might call, basic emotion education.
Okay, so our mission today, for you listening, is to start closing that gap. We want to give you the vocabulary, the actual skills you need, not just for well-being, but, well, for actually achieving your goals.
Exactly. It comes down to 2 simple ideas, really. You've got to name it to tame it.
Name it to tame it. Okay.
And you need to label it to regulate it. This isn't just theory. This is about practical, strategic skills for life.
Let's jump right into that precision then. Because it seems like a lot of us, maybe even high achievers, tend to just bundle feelings together. Everything becomes stressed or angry or just bad.
Right. And that vagueness is a trap. Because until you know how you feel, and just as importantly, why you feel that specific way, well, trying to manage it is like shooting in the dark.
You're using the wrong tool.
Precisely. Take 2 feelings we often confuse. Anger and disappointment. Very different functions.
Okay, let's nail this down. What's the core difference? Because getting this wrong sounds like it could cause problems.
Definitely. So anger fundamentally results from feeling like there's been an injustice, a boundary's been crossed, something's unfair. It's often a signal that something external needs to change.
Okay, injustice, boundary crossed, got it. And disappointment.
Disappointment comes from unmet hopes, unfulfilled expectations. It's more internal, often signals a need to maybe grieve a little or reevaluate what you expected.
Can you give me an example? Say, my business partner tanks a big project deadline, costs us the client. Am I angry or disappointed?
Well, it could easily be both, right? But you need to untangle them.
How?
If you focus only on the anger, the injustice of them letting you down, you might just lash out, attack them.
Okay.
But if you also recognize the disappointment, your hope for that project, your expectation of their reliability being dashed, then you can address that too. You might need to talk about the unmet expectation, maybe adjust how much you rely on them next time.
Ah, I see. So if I mislabel my disappointment as anger, I just attack, when maybe I needed to process the loss and rethink the partnership.
Exactly. You choose the wrong path forward because you misread the map.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's the vocabulary piece. What about emotional intelligence itself? EQ, what's the simplest definition?
The absolute simplest. Using your feelings wisely to help you reach your goals.
Using feelings wisely. Okay.
It's a set of skills, like IQ. They're goal-oriented skills.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike IQ, which is often seen as somewhat fixed,
Right. People think you're either born smart or you're not.
EQ is something you can absolutely learn and improve. It's trainable. You apply these skills to make better choices, build stronger relationships, basically get more of what you want out of life.
So it's less about raw intelligence and more about skillful driving.
That's a great analogy. You have the brain, the car. EQ is learning how to handle it, especially on tricky roads. Everyone can get better at driving.
Got it. And the best roadmap for learning that is the ruler model, which you've worked on extensively. Can you break down those 5 skills for us?
Sure. RULER stands for recognizing emotions, first in yourself, then in others. Understanding their causes and consequences. Labeling them accurately like we just discussed with anger and disappointment.
Okay. Recognizing, understanding, labeling.
Then expressing emotions effectively. And finally, the big one, regulating emotions.
Let's pause on expressing. That sounds straightforward, but I suspect there's nuance.
Huge nuance. Expressing isn't just about, whether you shout or not. It's about context. It's cultural. It's situational.
How so?
Well, how you show you're annoyed with your spouse is, or should be, very different from how you express frustration to your boss, right?
Definitely.
Or how passion is shown in a debate might vary hugely between, say, Italy and Japan. So expressing is about knowing when, where, and how to communicate your feeling so it actually achieves the desired outcome. That's a learned skill.
And regulation is the ultimate aim. You've even argued it should be the new definition of success. That's a bold claim. Why?
Because what good are external achievements? The money, The title, If Your Internal World is Chaos. If you can't manage your own nervous system, if you're constantly overwhelmed by stress or anxiety,
Your performance suffers anyway.
exactly, and your health suffers, your relationships suffer. You can't sustain high performance, let alone well-being, without regulation skills. It's the foundation. And it also means helping others regulate, too, being a supportive presence.
Okay, so how do we regulate? You use a formula, G plus S, goals plus strategies.
Right. And the goals part is crucial. Most people think regulation just means calm down. That's only one goal. We use the acronym PRIME to capture the range.
Prime. Okay, walk us through it.
P is for prevent, preparing ahead of time. If you know a meeting makes you anxious, you strategize beforehand. Maybe meditation, maybe a quick walk.
Proactive. I like it.
R is reduce. That's the classic calm down when you're already triggered. Breathing exercises, taking a break.
Okay.
I is initiate. Sometimes you need to create an emotion, like generating enthusiasm in your team before a tough project, or building your own confidence before a presentation.
Ah, interesting. Not just managing negative feelings.
Exactly. M, maintain.
Hmm.
Staying in a good state, like focus or flow, even when small things try to knock you off course.
Right, keep the momentum.
And E is enhance, taking a positive feeling and building on it. You had a small win. How do you leverage that positive energy for the next task?
So Prime really broadens the picture. It's not just about damage control.
Not at all. It's about strategically using the full spectrum of emotional experience.
Which makes you wonder, if this is so vital, why weren't we taught this? Why is this still, kind of niche knowledge?
Yeah, it's a good question. Historically, emotions were often seen as messy, irrational, subjective fluff, not hard data worthy of science, just in your head.
And culturally.
Culturally, especially in some Western contexts or professional fields, there's this strong association of emotion with weakness, particularly certain emotions, being hysterical or out of control.
Which leads directly to this idea that strong people suppress their feelings. That regulation means just stuffing it all down.
And that is probably the most damaging myth out there. Suppression doesn't work. Biologically, it's impossible to just will an emotion away.
It feels like it works in the moment sometimes, though.
It's like taking out a loan with a terrible interest rate. You get temporary relief, but the debt mounts. It shows up later as physical issues, gut problems, fatigue, headaches, or as mental health issues like anxiety, depression, or just sheer burnout.
We all know that person, right?
Yeah.
Super controlled, then snaps over something tiny.
That's the dam breaking. That's the suppressed emotion erupting. And often you see maladaptive coping instead, like some men might default to aggression or maybe drinking too much rather than admitting they feel anxious or scared.
Because of those second-order emotions you mentioned, feelings about feelings.
Precisely. It's not just the initial fear or sadness. It's the shame they feel about having that feeling. The internal voice isn't just, I'm scared. It's, I shouldn't be scared. I'm weak for feeling this. That shame is the real killer. It keeps people stuck.
Okay, so avoiding suppression means we need clarity. Accurate labels. You stressed earlier that mislabeling leads to the wrong strategy. Let's get specific.
Yes. Let's tackle the common ones people lump under stress.
Like anxiety. What is anxiety functionally?
Anxiety, at its core, is uncertainty about the future. You're worried about what might happen. The future feels foggy, unpredictable.
And the strategy. Deep breathing.
That might help manage the physical symptoms, but the core strategy is often cognitive. Rethinking the situation. What do I actually know? What's truly uncertain? What can I control? What can't I? It's about managing the uncertainty.
Okay. What about stress? How is that different?
Stress is simpler in a way. It's having too many demands and not enough resources, time, energy, support, money, whatever. It's an equation that's out of balance.
So the strategy isn't rethinking, it's logistics.
Pretty much. You need to change the equation. Either get more resources, ask for help, delegate, find shortcuts, or reduce the demands. Take things off your plate. Say no.
Saying no. That's often the hardest part for driven people.
It is. But recognizing that the feeling of stress is a signal that your resources are depleted helps beg the case for setting those boundaries. It's self-preservation, not laziness.
Right. Okay, third one. Pressure.
Pressure is when there's something significant at stake, and the outcome depends on your performance. High stakes, big presentation, crucial negotiation.
Feels intense. What's the strategy there?
Often, it involves communication, talking to whoever set the stakes, clarifying expectations, understanding the potential rewards and risks, making sure the pressure is proportionate.
That makes sense. Okay, so anxiety is uncertainty, stress is too many demands, pressure is high stakes, clear distinctions. Now, you found something surprising when you looked at high schoolers who said they were stressed.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We asked thousands of students about their feelings, and while stressed was a common word they used, when we dug deeper, the single most frequent emotion driving that feeling, it was envy. Envy, not stress. Overwhelmingly envy. Constant social comparison. Grades, looks, opportunities, social media. They felt less than compared to peers, and they were labeling that uncomfortable, often bitter feeling as stress.
Wow. So telling an envious kid to just breathe is completely missing the mark.
Totally ineffective. The strategy for envy isn't calming the body, it's changing the mind. A cognitive reframe.
How do you reframe envy?
Two main ways. You can try to shift from resentment towards admiration. Instead of, I hate that she has that, maybe, what did she do to get that? Can I learn something? Turn the comparison into inspiration.
Okay, admiration
Or shift focus to gratitude. Acknowledge the envy, then consciously focus on what you have, the resources and opportunities available to you. Counter the less than feeling with appreciation for what is.
This really highlights how crucial the right label is for finding the right solution. It all seems to boil down to practice, becoming more aware.
It does. And the goal really is to shift your identity. Move from being an emotion judge, constantly critiquing yourself for feeling bad or wrong, to becoming an emotion scientist.
Ocean scientist, what does that mean?
It means you approach your feelings with curiosity. You observe them. Feeling anxious right now. Okay, then you try a strategy. Let me try that breathing technique. Then you observe the result. Did that help? A little? Not really. You gather data, experiment, learn. No judgment, just science.
Okay, I like that. Scientist, not judge. So, practically, how does someone listening start becoming an emotion scientist? Step 1.
Step 1 is mindset. Fully accept that there are no bad emotions. They're all just signals, information. And adopt a growth mindset. Believe you can get better at this. Everyone can.
Step 2.
Build your language. Get more precise. Use tools if needed, like a mood meter app or list, to pinpoint feelings. Are you tired, or are you actually anxious? Are you angry, or is it disappointment? Don't trust just the vague physical feeling. Get specific.
Okay, mindset, language. Step 3.
The internal cognitive work. Practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself kindly, especially when feelings are tough. And remind yourself feelings are temporary. They're like weather. This anxiety feels huge right now, but it's a storm passing through. It won't last forever.
Today's rainy, tomorrow might be sunny.
Exactly that kind of self-talk. Step 4 is about connection. Find your emotional allies.
People you can talk to. What makes someone a good ally?
Research points to 3 key things, consistently across cultures. They need to be non-judgmental. They need to be a good listener, really hearing you, not just waiting to talk. And they need to be empathetic or compassionate. Someone who can just sit with you in your feeling without needing to fix it immediately.
Find your non-judgmental listeners. Got it. Step 5.
The physical foundation. Cannot overstate this. Quality sleep, decent nutrition, moving your body, these aren't luxuries. They directly impact your brain's ability to regulate emotions.
So?
If you're exhausted or poorly nourished, your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, regulating part of your brain, doesn't work as well. Your fuse is shorter, everything feels harder. Basic self-care makes regulation easier.
So mindset, language, cognitive work, allies, physical habits, that's the path. And you said this culminates in an identity shift.
Yeah, that's really the long game. Think about someone starting to lift weights. At first they do weightlifting, but eventually if they stick with it, they start to identify as a weightlifter.
I am a weightlifter.
Right. The goal here is similar. Move from, I'm trying to regulate my emotions, to, I am someone who is well-regulated, or I am someone who is brave with my emotions. It creates distance from labels like, I am an anxious person. Anxiety becomes something you experience, not something you are.
It feels powerful. Okay, one last thing I want to touch on. The phrase, you're too sensitive. People hear this a lot. Is it possible to be too sensitive?
No. Flat out no. You cannot be too sensitive. Sensitivity is often a trait. Some people's nervous systems just register more input, more nuance. It's like having a high-definition sensor for the world.
So what's the issue when people say that?
Often it's used to dismiss someone's feelings. It's a form of gaslighting, frankly. Or the person is highly sensitive but lacks the regulation skills to manage the intensity of what they feel. The sensitivity itself isn't the problem. The lack of skills is.
So being sensitive just means you get more practice.
Exactly. It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
If you feel things deeply, you get more chances to work on your ruler skills to become an emotion scientist. Handled right, sensitivity is an asset, not a flaw.
This whole conversation really drives home that EQ isn't some fluffy, self-indulgent thing. It's strategic. It's essential for a functional, successful life.
Absolutely. And the long-term payoff is immense.
Well,
I
yeah.
see it in the research. Adults who grew up in environments where they were allowed to feel, where they had those emotional allies, those non-judgmental listeners.
The Uncle Marvins.
Yeah, the Uncle Marvins of the world. Those adults report better sleep, better physical health, better mental health. And here's the kicker. They consistently report greater life satisfaction, purpose, and meaning in life.
Wow. Better sleep, better health, more purpose. That's huge.
It's fundamental human flourishing. These skills unlock that.
Okay, so here's the final thought we want to leave you with today. If developing emotional fluency, if learning to regulate ourselves leads directly to better health, more success, and a greater sense of purpose, why is there still so much resistance? Why are there actual efforts in some places to block this kind of education in schools and workplaces?
It's a critical question.
Could it be that certain power structures, certain ways of operating, actually rely on people not having these skills, on people not being able to clearly name injustice, set firm boundaries, or challenge a system that isn't working for them? If emotional mastery gives you the clarity and courage to speak truth to power, well, maybe learning these skills is more than just self-help. Maybe it's a quiet revolution, something worth fighting for.